Moving on to key number two is emotional freedom. And I studied a lot of the tapping techniques. I studied in 98, took all kind of seminars, and there was nothing that compared to what I had learned with the tapping. You could do so much stuff with the tapping, it was amazing. So I did my own cocktail and I call it freedom, freedom and release of emotional and energetic disturbances or mental blocks. So, we talked at the beginning that everything is energy, and emotion is just energy that is in motion. It's just a cocktail of chemicals that run courses through your body. Depending what you think about snakes. For instance, my grandmother would see a picture of a snake on a newspaper and immediately was fear, and she just had to turn the page. She couldn't look at it. But I met a guy who loved rattlesnake, and as a kid, he would go out in nature, pick up rattlesnakes, put them in a freezer so he could pose them and take pictures.
Wow.
So it's not the thing that you see, it's a reaction that you have that makes something in your body. So emotion is also just a cocktail of chemicals. And depending how you react, anger or joy, it's going to be different. And it's there to give you a message. But it must circulate. That's the stagnant emotions that causes disease. When you grieve something and you keep grieving and you don't get over it, that's what can eventually cause diseases. So tapping technique, I'm not going to go much into it. You know about it, right? So those are the tapping point, and this is what Gary Craig said. Often works where nothing else will, usually rapid, long-lasting, gentle, no drugs or equipment, easily learned by anyone. I taught that to my 5-year-old son, and he knew how to tap, and he could feel energy. It was amazing. And can be self-applied. So what, have you learned them? Are you using them? Are you using them with clients?
I do not use tapping techniques, actually. I am familiar with them, but I am not educated in them, and I do not use them.
Oh, okay. No, I learned all kind of techniques, and then I came across that one, and it was amazing. Actually, that's the tapping techniques that gave me the courage to divorce and rebuild my life. I had become a doormat. I was afraid of everything, everybody, and I tapped for 3 months after I just had an introduction that lasted 90 minutes and totally changed my life in 3 months.
Wow. Yeah, I guess now thinking about it, I did some Kundalini yoga.
Yeah.
Probably about 3 or 4 years ago. I was doing, because I lived right near a Kundalini yoga studio, and actually it was the very first Kundalini yoga instructor that came here to the United States. It was his studio, and we did that in that technique. We did tapping.
The problem with the tapping technique, I think they're very powerful, but they've been trivialized. And you have people that go to a weekend workshop and think they can cure cancer and everything, and nothing happens. A lot of things is like that. Also with life coaching, for instance, people do they call themselves life coach after going to a 3-month, class. It's a little bit different from somebody who studied it, for years.
Yes.
Right. And there's many aspects. For instance, when I was teaching workshop on tapping and we were in high-rise building, I always had some people who were afraid of elevators or afraid of heights. And I would take these people, and within a few minutes that, would go away. I mean, they didn't have that fear anymore. But if you have somebody who has MS or who has gone through multiple trauma, it's not going to be a 10-minute thing. It's going to take a lot of time and a lot of perseverance. And yeah, it's going to help, I believe, but it's not everything that 1-minute miracle that people came to expect.
Right.
So let's go on. So emotional healing. Oh yeah, I have a friend of mine. She was a dancer too, and she had 5 people who had died one after the other, and she was just grieving and grieving. So we did the tapping with her. She came to one of the workshops and she was able to let that go. And then I worked a lot with people who were going through the court system, either elderly people or divorce. And I don't know if you know about the court system, but it's not very friendly to people. No. And they had all kind of symptoms. And no, the court problems didn't go away, but they were better able to cope with it. And also physiological changes. Rebecca is a therapist, and she went to see a naturopath who took a drop of her blood, put it under a microscope, it's live blood. And you can see there the red blood cells are all stuck together. It's called rouleaus. She had probably eaten something that made her sluggish. And she did the tapping, and little by little, the red blood cells started to separate. And after, I think it was about half an hour, they were all free.
Oh, wow.
So the red blood cells are there to give you oxygen and nutrients. If they all clumped up together, they can't release that. And I think I don't know if you have that experience, but depending what kind of meal you eat, you're sluggish after, you want to sleep.
Sure.
I think that's why, because, they get all clumped up. It's like a glue, especially gluten does that to a lot of people. It just glue things together.
Yeah.
So the tapping technique can help.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then Dr. Callahan did a lot of studies, research in hospitals, and high blood pressure went down, diabetes went down, cholesterol went down. And a lady with MS, the only thing she did was tapping every day for 2 years, and she got out of her wheelchair.
Wow.
So, but it was 2 years of doing some tapping. It was not a 10-minute thing. We're not there yet. I think eventually, we're going to clap our fingers and things. But I don't know, maybe in 100 years or something. So, yeah, fear of flying, that's pretty easy. And that lady, Renee, had to fly to Europe, and she told me she totally got rid of her jet lag. And I went to Europe and decided to do the tapping. If you travel a lot, like every 2 hours, you want to do the tapping to get in the same time lapse that you are. And I had absolutely no jet lag. And usually jet lag lasts for me about a week when I go to Switzerland to visit my folks. So it worked. I had heard about it. I can testify it does work. And a businesswoman stopped worrying anymore, and she had to do some cold calls. She did much more money, but I guess I can't say so. It's illegal for me to say how much more money she made because I didn't get her receipts and stuff. I didn't know about it. And Barbie, her sex life was restored. She had one guy in her life, her husband, and so she started having sex with him and felt dirty from the first day. So we got rid of that idea of being dirty. And they went on kind of a honeymoon on the coast, and she called me from there and said, it's great, I don't have that problem anymore. So it works with all kinds of different things. And why? It's just because you change your energy. It's not anything super special. It's just the energy is changed.